Hello Hex Kittens, welcome back to Knitting is a Drag! I'm Alexis Hex, and wonder what we could be learning today. Alright Hex Kittens, in case you didn't guess by my outfit, today we're learning the granny square. Granny squares are a classic part of crochet, and everyone has seen granny squares. Someone had a blanket in their house. You saw Roseanne, the Connors, that iconic Afghan on the back of the sofa. And now you'll get to learn how to make your very own granny squares as well. Alright, let's do it. Alright, to start, we're going to make some granny squares. And I'm going to be using this size H8 5mm crochet hook and some worsted weight yarn. Now to get started, we're going to start by making a magic ring. So it starts off like a basic slip knot. Fold that over and then you bring up this loop. Now normally if you were making a slip knot, you would make this part all tight, but we're doing a little something different here. So at this point, you're going to get your working yarn all situated, and you're going to chain 3. So we have chain 3 here, and that's going to count as your first double crochet. And you're going to do 2 double crochets directly into this ring. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And then one more. Yarn over, into the ring, pull up, through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So there's our first little granny cluster. So that's 3 double crochets, including our first chain 3 as a double crochet. The next step to do for a granny square is we are going to chain 2, and the chain 2 spaces become our corners. And we're going to start again with another cluster. So we're going to do 3 more double crochets into this ring. So we have the yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we do 2 more. And the third for our cluster. There we go. And again, we're making another corner. Chain 2. And go ahead and make another cluster of 3. So that was a yarn over, insert, yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And again, yarn over, go into that ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. One more to finish off our third cluster. Over. All right, there's our third one. So we're going to make another corner space, so chain 2. And our last cluster. There we go. So 3 double crochets into the ring. Right. At this point, here's where the magic ring part comes in. You take that tail and you pull it, and it becomes like a little drawstring closing up that little area. And then we're going to make our last corner. So we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to attach to the top of the chain 3 with a slip stitch. So that's go and pull through the yarn and pull through that loop here. And then you're going to just slip stitch all the way across. And so we're going to slip stitch. The slip stitch doesn't add any height, so that is how you can move your working yarn to the next place that you need it to be at. Alright, so we get all the way across. Then I'm going to slip stitch right into the corner here. And there we go. So now you can see we have 4 little clusters, 4 corners. Now, if you had wanted to do like a granny hexagon or a pentagon, you could have done the same thing before closing it and connecting it. You could add however many clusters you want. Will make the amount of sides that you want because of the corners. But now that we're in a corner, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. So this counts as our first double crochet. And then we're going to do 2 more to complete our little granny cluster. There we go. But since it's a corner, we're going to put 2 in this corner. And this is where the corner will always be. So we're going to chain 2. Always chain 2 in the corners. And then we're going to do 3 double crochets. There we go. That's 1 corner done. So now we're going to chain 1. You're going to chain 1 when it's not in the corners. So when you're just going over a cluster, that's a chain 1 space. And then you're going to go into this next corner. So you're going to do 3 double crochets. And you create that first cluster. Go, and then since we're in the corner, you're going to chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. Excellent. So now you can see we have 2 full corners and a side. And we continue around in the same way that we had. So we're going to chain 1 now because we're on a side, not in a corner. And then do our double crochets. Oop. Do 3 of them to make your first cluster. And again, we're in a corner, so that means we have to chain 2 and work another cluster of 3 double crochets into the same corner space. Go, and then we're going to chain 1 and then work 3 double crochets into this corner, and 2 chains because we're in the corner. And we do our second set of 3 clusters. Yarn over into the space, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so now we're here. We're going to chain 1 for the space. And I'm going to attach at the top of this chain with that slip stitch. And then slip stitch across. Right into that space. Okay, so that is the first 2 rounds. Let's make sure we tighten up our little center. This yarn is a little bit of a slipperier yarn, so it doesn't want to hold, so that'll be woven in better at the end, but there you can go. So that's our first 2 rounds. So you can see always in every corner you're working 2 clusters, and then I will show you the 3rd round. Alright, so the 3rd round kind of sets up for what the rest of the rounds would look like. So now we're in the corner again, so we're going to chain 3, which counts as our first double crochet. And there we go. We're going to do our first cluster of 3. There we go. We're in a corner, so we're going to what? That's right, chain 2, followed by another 3 double crochets in the same corner. Wonderful. So there's our next corner, all made. So here we go, we're going to chain 1. And now we're going to work again into this chain 1 space, 3 double crochets. So you work your little cluster of your 3 double crochets. And there we go. Since this is not a corner, we're only working 1 set of 3 into that space. We're going to chain 1. And now we're back at a corner. So we're going to yarn over. Do a set of 3 double crochets. And again, we're in a corner, so we're going to chain 2. Work 3 more into the same spot. And there we go, another corner made. So now we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to work 3 double crochets into that space. Oops, there we go. Got this yarn a little, it doesn't have a lot of grip on it, so sometimes it splits too. Alright. Go. There we go. And that's so we just do that 1 cluster of 3 into that space. Chain 1, and look, we're back in a corner. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to make our 3 double crochets. And our 3rd. Wonderful. And then because it's a corner, we're going to, oh, you guessed it, chain 2. And make another cluster. Right there. What's good with granny squares is they're kind of, you know, once you get the hang of it, you don't really have to think about it much because it's really easy to read. You know where you're going. You don't have to pay a lot of attention to it. Chain 1. We're going to work 3 into this space. But yeah, granny squares were the entire reason I learned to crochet. I just love them like most people do. They're fun. You can make them in so many different colors, and there's so many variations of them. There we go, that's our cluster. Chain 1, yarn over, and we're in a corner. We're going to do a cluster of 3. Yarn over into the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. All of our lovely double crochets. Alright, and we're in the corners. We're going to chain 2. We're going to make our second cluster in that same space. There we go, and one more to finish off that cluster. There we go. Excellent, another. And then we're going to chain 1. And then we're going to make 3 double crochets into this space. Go. Chain 1. And then attach to the top with a slip stitch. And there you go. That is your basic granny square. So you could continue if you wanted, and you would slip stitch all the way to the corner. You would chain, and you make your double crochets, and your chain 2 in your other set. Then you would chain 1 over. You would do your 3 double crochets in the space. You chain 1 over the cluster, 3 more double crochets, chain 1, and then you would do double crochets, chain 2 double crochets, all in that same space to make that corner. And you can go around and around as many times as you want. And that's the fun thing about granny squares. But we will just cut our yarn. Through. There we go, and then we'll weave in our ends. Alright, so start with the original tail. I was just trying to make sure I pull it tight to make sure that that ring stays nice and small. And then you can see it's kind of coming out of here, so I just kind of follow that circle and I go through the stitches, all these little double crochets, and I just kind of go around to continue the drawstring effect. Pull up here, through, we'll go through here, and that one. There we go. So I went through both of those clusters. There we go. Through those again. You can kind of go as many times as you want. I'm going just a couple extra just because this yarn is a little slippery and it doesn't have as great of a grip on, say if you used it like a wool that has a little bit of grip on itself. There we go. And then I will take our scissors and cut that. And then all we have to do is weave in the other end. Right. So I just take my needle. I usually like to kind of work my way through these top stitches a little bit, just to kind of bring it to the edge of that corner. Then I like to work down through the stitch, because I like to work in the yarn down here at the base of these stitches. Through. I'm gonna try to pick up a little bit of here, go through both of these. There we go. it out so it doesn't warp your corner too much. And we'll take our scissors. And there we go. Perfect little granny square. Now, granny squares could be used in a ton of different projects. You can put a bunch together and make blankets. You can, have sweaters, fabulous dresses. People can make hats too, depending on how big they are. You can do 4 sides and a top. So with 5 granny squares, you can make yourself a hat. The opportunities are endless. So there we go. Now you know how to make granny squares, and I can't wait to see the things that you make. Alright, that's everything. That's all you need to learn to make your very own granny square. Make a bunch, make a blanket, make hats. The possibilities are endless. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, share it with a friend, follow me on all social media, and until next time, stay hexy. Bye.